gallery in the West End, Dundas, and Dufferin area. Before I start thinking and doing anything, I obviously want to acknowledge the space that we're in and the land that we're on today. Crybaby Art Gallery, myself, everyone involved would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We would also like to acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Thank you all so much for being here. This is very, very exciting for me and an exciting moment in my career. I hope you too. So just the one housekeeping note is we've had a lot of amazing sponsors. I will be thanking the majority of them at the end, but one of the pivotal sponsors is Fashion Group International Toronto. I'm very privileged to choke, sorry. I'm very privileged to sit on their board, and they were a key sponsor in this evening. I cannot do 2 fashion shows or 2 Black History Month events, and we have combined beautiful forces. There are a few people in this space that if you are interested in membership, they will raise their hands now. The few people who are here, Lindsay and Linley, and if you're in the back not seeing the hands, that was Lindsay and Linley. Come find them or scan a QR code if you are interested in learning more about FGI. On that note, we are going to start the fashion show. And the first designer and the first person up that we are going to be speaking with is Demaine Tyrone, who is already seated and patiently waiting. Thank you for being here. Amazing. So as this first look should be coming around, I want to start with asking you, and I'll give you the mic, please cup it like you're rapping as I am. This is giving me a lot of anxiety. How did you start your career? Yo.
Very interesting microphone. So how did I start my career? I moved back from Vancouver in 2018. And you know, I'm 6'5", and when you're this tall, you know, you can't just go into any store and pull anything off the rack. Very difficult situation. So I had a friend that was in fashion school, and he brought me to this place in Vancouver called Dresso. Immediately, when I stepped into the fabric store, I was like, man, like I had like this warm feeling of you know, sense of being home. And yeah, kind of just started from there. So I moved back to Toronto, and I found my seamstress. And my seamstress really put me on game. She helped me build out a pilot project in 2019, and I really I cycled through 9 different outfits from January to December, which is actually kind of crazy because I'm like wearing the same shit like every weekend, but like still looking better than everybody else in the club. And then it just kind of just pivoted, like, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So we've got this first look here, some amazing suiting on Kimberly, who is a seasoned model. I've seen her in New York Fashion Week. She's absolutely stunning. The jewelry is Monoxide, who we'll be hearing from later. So I also want to ask you, obviously it's Black History Month, and I sort of already know this answer, but how does race impact your work and your designs, if at all?
How does race impact my design work? I'm Jamaican, but first generation Canadian. But with that being said though, like honestly I come from my dad being a clubber, a night goer, so with my mom as well. And they always went to New York, they got the best thing. My dad had a tailor, had a seamstress, so he would always make his own garments. And like it fell into my lap, to be honest. Like it wasn't even like, oh, like this is what I wanted to do, right? Like this is, I came back home and I was like, fuck, I need to actually start making clothes because I'm like, I'm not as drippy as everybody else. So then I became drippier than everybody else. So that's kind of what happened. Like, you know, I just kind of just pivoted in my lap because of being Jamaican. So, and my parents.
That's amazing, thank you. And I will see, so, I mean, I've seen some of your work that's literally spoken to different things that impact the Black community specifically, and we'll get into that in a bit. Have you faced adversity or challenges specific to being a Black designer, or even we've spoken now about your height and different things, just about yourself as a person, like what are some challenges you faced?
Challenges. There's a lot. I think also like being Black is definitely a challenge in itself. But then also being like a Black curator in this space of design, like you have other people that are like funded. It's hard to get funding to fund your own projects. I've never got a lick of funding to do anything I do. So like this is just blood, sweat, and tears of working a 9 to 5 to produce garments, to turn this into the reality. At the end of the day, like there's always going to be challenges, right? So it's just depending on how you how you maneuver. And I maneuver pretty well. Thank God that I met a lot of amazing people through the times, and still meeting people, which is amazing. And people that really love the work, so they really advocate for what I do. They put me on game. They show love. They put me in places and put me in positions, or they introduce me to people to help me further the brand. So shout out to all the people. There's too many names to list. There are definitely a few in the room, but it's the people that really love your shit that are willing to put your name out there to say, hey, this guy's actually a guy. So
absolutely, thank you for that honesty. I will now acknowledge Mashawi, the beautiful Mashawi, who is also a recording artist. Beautiful suit, Monoxide Jewelry again. Don't walk away yet. We have one more question before we dismiss your beautifulness. I wanted to speak specifically to what I was alluding to before. When I first met you and I first saw any of your designs, you had a hoodie and you still have one that says all those lives matter, specifically speaking to police brutality and how this has impacted, I think, not only the United States, but it is something that happens here as well in Canada that a lot of people do not speak about. Can you talk us through making those garments and why you made it and why it was such an important issue to you specifically?
Hillary, I love you very much. Just to be clear, it's those lives.
Thank you. I added the all, but it was all those. I'm sorry. Not all lives. Those lives.
Those lives.
Thank you.
Those lives stem from Black Lives Matter. Anybody that kind of follow Black Lives Matter, me personally, I don't mess with the organization for personal reasons. I mean, if you guys do, sure, that's you. You guys can do that. I don't really care. But Those Lives Matter really just started because we needed a focus. Like Black lives are Black lives, white lives are white lives, and so on and so forth. You name any color in the rainbow, like there is, right? But at the end of the day, it was just really focusing on the people that were losing their lives by the hands of police brutality. Like we pay taxes, the money goes to the police to fund them, and we're losing our lives because of these people. So I really just want to focus on Those Lives Matter because I grew up in Toronto. I think one of the most diverse cities in the world. I have friends from, every race that you could possibly think of from different parts of the world, and I really want to focus on, those individual peoples. I don't really get into the political stuff, but there's just so much. Honestly, this is I can go on a tangent on this, but Those Lives Matter. It evolved. So it evolved from just the people from police brutality to stopping senseless gun violence, to stopping, drug overdose, fuck cancer, people that died from tragic losses that shouldn't have died. So it just was starting to highlight people that, the rest of the series dropping this year. But it's just to really focus on, individuals, and it's just those. It's not all, just those.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you. And thank you so much, Mashawi. You look incredible. Thank you very much. So what responsibility specifically do you think Black communities and allies have to support Black artists? Also, speak louder for the people in the back, I should hope.
We're definitely going to talk about this microphone. To be honest, the responsibilities, for me, if you're grown, you're grown. I can't help you, I'm sorry. I love you, but at this point right now, you're choosing your own destiny, right? So for me, it's my goal is just to really focus on the youth, because the youth is definitely the future always. So whatever I can do to impact the community, I will definitely do. It's very important to me that I can really get my message across to help these individuals, because I'm a kid that grew up in metro housing. I went through so many life experiences, so many life traumas, things that I still have PTSD from, but I'm still thugging it out because I have a goal, I have vision, I have places that I'm trying to get to. So at the end of the day, like, I'm really just gonna focus on my communities, whether it's Scarborough or, you know, from the east to the west. It doesn't really matter to me. I just really want to impact the youth the best way I possibly can.
Amazing, thank you very much. This is Rebecca, everybody. Rebecca is a model. Give it up. What do you, Demaine, what do you hope for the future of Black fashion? Be honest.
The hope and the future for Black fashion. I think there's a lot of names of Black designers and Black fashion that just really goes unnoticed. I really would I would like people to have a better opportunity to really showcase their work. As a designer, you know, participating in fashion shows, we all can't afford to be on the runway because it's still a market, right? Like, people are trying to make money. So when they're, you know, you have the Parises, the Londons, the New Yorks, you name it, the Dubais, and they're charging you, you know, anywhere from $5K to $50K to showcase your work with no guarantee. It's kind of crazy. Like, how can you showcase your work at a place and then, like, not even be guaranteed, like, Vogue is gonna really publish your shit? Like, are there going to be the right buyers in the space to help you grow? Like, you know, is your stuff even dope enough to even be on the runway? Like, there's a multitude of things, right? There's just so many variables in the space. But personally, like, if you're confident in your stuff, that's great. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the response of your peers. So if your peers aren't fucking with it, I'm sorry. Like, you're not that person. Like, you know, you like step it up. I'm not even saying I'm the best, but I'm one of the best. That's for damn sure. But I really just hope that the doors get kicked down and people are willing to open the doors more for people and, like, actually being able to showcase their stuff. So that's what I hope for.
Amazing, perfect. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And before you leave us, I'll ask you the last question. Since you're one of the best, as you've just said, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
The legacy that I hope to leave behind is, I really want to go down for philanthropy. You know, I hope that my brand is the brand. Well, I don't hope. I know that my brand will be one of the brands to, you know, kick down doors and, you know, break through barriers. I want to be that guy that is like, if you're an upcoming designer or an artist, and I think that the work is dope and I believe in it, I want to be able to say, hey, you know what? I know the bank is not going to give you the money. Here's the money. I don't need a return on investment. Here's the fucking money. Do what you got to do. Show me the plan, but execute it. If you don't execute it, I'm blacklisting you. Like, that's just the way it works, right? But, like, I really just want to be able to give back to the community and hopefully fund somebody else's dream. Because I was a guy that, I'm still a guy that, you know, like, if somebody was to give me the funding right now, like, what I have sitting down, I'd go super viral. But it's just like, it's trying to allocate the funds, right? So, I really just want to help the community as much as I can, like I said before, and hopefully, you know, inspire. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the community by taking time out of your day to help put on this show. You are dismissed from this painful chair of questioning. Thank you so much. Next up,